Equity Multiple is the modern way to access real estate, the preferred asset of the world's most successful investors. With Equity Multiple, creating a stronger, more diversified portfolio is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Sign up for Equity Multiple's streamlined, secure platform. 2. Select from a diverse set of vetted real estate investments. Select the ones that fit your strategy and invest as little as $5,000 per deal. 3. Equity Multiple's dedicated asset managers go to work on your behalf. Watch your real estate portfolio grow and receive distributions direct to your bank account. Since 2015, Equity Multiple has achieved a 17.4% net annualized return on behalf of investors. Get started at equitymultiple.com/boost and earn an enhanced return on your first investment. Equity Multiple. Welcome to modern real estate investing.
We all remember that one professor, the one everyone on campus had to take no matter what subject they taught because how much fun their class was. What if we told you there was a streaming service that had all those professors? One Day University has every must-have professor from the best colleges all across the country. One Day University, the most fun talks from the most fun professors. Available live and on demand. No homework, just the most fun you'll have while learning. Get a special offer at ondayu.com/odyssey.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your wages are being garnished. We can stop that now. It's hard enough to pay your bills when things are good, let alone when a big chunk of your take-home pay is gone before you even get your check. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne, and I can stop the garnishment and get the creditors off your back immediately, often the same day as our consultation. Both Chapter 7 and 13 provide bankruptcy relief, but choosing the right chapter is crucial. In a free consultation, we can create a plan to get your finances back under your control. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. It is Giving Tuesday, and we've got a perfect place for you to give, and that is the Washington State Council Firefighters, Operation Warm. We're doing coats for kids, okay? So that's what we want you to give to. $20 puts a brand new coat on a Washington State child in need. It was like in the 30s this morning, so I was thinking, man, thinking some little kid does not have a proper coat to stay warm, especially with the COVID situation. Come on, America.
Come on, America.
Or at least Seattle.
Step up like guys like Tom Narek, who donated $100.
Woo, Tommy!
$100 goes a very long way. 5 brand new coats, thanks to Tom. UA Goker, $71, which means they did the little, add a couple of bucks to cover the fees.
So they're part of the...
So UA's a part of the 69 crib.
Nice.
Shout out to the anonymous donor who donated $41. Terry, $50. Terry Whitby, you rock.
Oh, Terry. $41 is close to doing the old Hitchhiker's Guide at $42. Yeah, look at that. Either way, man, we just want to get these coats on these kids. Any bit helps, even if you only can do $1, or if you can actually just share on your socials. Help us out. Let's get the word out. We want to raise $35,000 because we have over 1,700 kids that need coats. And you want all the info? You want to make a donation? Go to KISW.com.
Let's play Beat Migs. It's time to play the game. Yeah! So everybody scream his name. Beat Migs. Don't be a loser. Whoa! Beat Migs. You're a loser.
It is time to beat Migs. It is time to turn down for tequila.
Turn down for what?
Tequila.
Or it's turned down for pickled whiskey, I'm hearing.
Danny there. Who got the pickled whiskey?
Not yet, but it's on its way.
It should be in the mail.
Really?
Wow.
So it's the whiskey with the pickleback already in?
I guess so. Or has pickled brine or distilled with it.
It's infused. Pickle juice is infused in the whiskey. It's that, what's it called?
Wicked pickle.
Wicked pickle.
Oh,
Remember
we talked about that. Right. We weren't sure what the heck wicked meant, but we figured it out.
But it's not for sale here in Washington, but it's for sale in Missouri where they're made, and we know someone in Missouri, so she's sending them to us.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Nice. Boy, it pays to have friends.
Yes. We're going to get drunk on the radio.
Or at least like a shot.
Yeah, you got to taste test it.
Well, if you give me a shot, I will be getting drunk on the radio. Nice. I'm a lightweight, so I'll have to take your word for it.
Good point on that. Let's get to our contestant today. We've got Peter in Seattle. Peter, are you there?
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Peter. All right, Steve, get out of here. Bye. For those playing at home, Peter will have 60 seconds to answer 10 questions. Peter, you can pass all you want, but you will only get 3 guesses per question. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
What year in the late 60s did seat belts become mandatory equipment in U.S. cars?
69.
No.
65.
No.
62.
No. What color is the E in the standard Google logo?
Green.
No.
Blue.
No.
Red.
Yes. Who played Schmidt in the movie 21 Jump Street?
Pass.
The internet abbreviation AFK stands for what?
Pass.
Which Mad Max Fury Road star is the daughter of Lenny Kravitz?
Pass.
Who is on the $10 bill?
Jackson.
No.
Franklin.
No.
Pass.
Who sang Wind Beneath My Wings and acted in Hocus Pocus?
Pass.
From what language did English borrow the word yacht?
English. Spain.
No. And Peter got 1 correct.
Hey, Peter.
Just 1 there, Peter.
So bad. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, you don't have to apologize to me, but definitely apologize to BJ because I don't think you're going to get a song here.
No, it's totally Philadelphia Eagle did. Hey guys, before I go, I just want to say happy holidays. Thank you for being such a cool station and making our lives better.
Oh, Peter, thanks for being a cool listener, man. Always good to hear from you, buddy.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Peter.
Yep.
Yeah. Happy holidays to you, my friend.
We love you, Peter.
Peter's decided to go. I guess probably he feels like there's no reason to stay at this point.
That's very telling.
It is very telling. Steve, are you ready?
Oh, yeah!
What year in the late 60s did seatbelts become mandatory equipment in U.S. cars?
1969.
No.
1968?
Yes.
Nice.
What color is the E in the standard Google logo?
Crap. White?
No.
Yellow?
No.
Blue?
No. Who played?
Red.
Yes.
Yeah, damn it.
Who played Schmidt in the movie 21 Jump Street?
21 Jump. Jonah Hill.
Yes. The internet abbreviation AFK stands for what?
Adios. Oh, wait, no. Also, away from keyboard.
Yes. Which Mad Max Fury Road star is the daughter of Lenny Kravitz?
Jason Momoa.
No. That's it.
Zoe Kravitz.
Yes. Who is on the $10 bill?
Isn't that Hamilton?
Yes.
Good job.
Who sang Wind Beneath My Wings and
Bette Midler?
Yes. From what language did the English borrow the word yacht?
What language? I'm going to go German.
No.
Yacht. Russian?
No.
Sweden.
No. Joe Cool is the alter ego of which comic strip character?
That's Snoopy.
Yes, that's
it.
Snoopy.
Of course
1,
it's
2,
Snoopy.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You win 7, 2, Uno.
Oh.
Yeah, 701
That's why
was-
Peter.
You're simply the best.
Still love Peter, even though I didn't get a song.
Yeah.
Better than all the rest.
And today, Steve is better than all the rest.
That's a fact. Thank you.
Yep. You knew that the Google, you figured out it was red.
The Google.
He is red.
Yeah.
And this was a hard one. I didn't imagine anyone would get it unless they just randomly guessed. But the language that the English borrowed the word yacht from.
Oh, I'm going to answer Latin every time now.
It's a good guess, but no. It's the Dutch.
Oh, the
yeah.
gold duchies, huh?
Exactly.
Pass the duchies on the left-hand side.
Huh?
I don't know. That's a song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was great. Congratulations, Steve. You won.
Yay, Steve!
Word.
Yeah, you get a yacht. You're going to get a yacht for that, sir. All right. Well, the Seahawks, of course, big win last night, even though people might have thought it looked a little messy. Thought maybe we should have crushed that team, but you know what? They beat the Eagles. That's all that matters. We're in first place. That's all that matters.
Damn straight.
And we'll get the official scoop anyway from Mitch Levy. That's right, Mitch from his podcast, Mitch Unfiltered, which you can get at MitchUnfiltered.com. He'll talk all about the game at 7:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Market volatility got you stressed? Equity Multiple makes diversification simple. Access vetted, institutional grade commercial real estate starting with just $5K. Tap into current yield and upside and build passive income streams without any of the headaches of managing property. This episode brought to you by Equity Multiple. Welcome to modern real estate investing. Visit equitymultiple.com/boost and earn an enhanced return on your first investment.
Have we figured out how to explain deja vu? How do chameleons do that thing they do? Do you really need to wash your blue jeans? Yeah, you do, but how often? Hey, my name's Mike Simpson. I've got a podcast about curiosities. It's called I've Got Questions. We go through my list of random stuff and yours. Please participate. Send me your questions. I'll find someone to answer them. We've talked about our true crime obsession, how grocery stores are tricking us, super secret flight attendant stuff. I've Got Questions. New episodes Thursdays on Odyssey or wherever you get your podcasts.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle.
BJ, it's always great talking to our next guest, especially when the Seahawks win and they piss off all the gamblers out there in this world. Please welcome to the show, Mitch Levy.
I hope you didn't have money on the game, Mitch.
I did not have money on the game.
Good.
Did you see someone text us and said that somebody put $500,000 down and lost that because of that 2-point conversion touchdown at the end of the game?
You know, it's funny because these things, they call them bad beats. You probably see it on TV. That's the technical term.
Yes.
In Vegas, bad beats. What's interesting about this is that 50% of the universe actually win on those plays.
Oh,
we don't consider those people. We only consider all the people that lost in that play. You realize that typically in Vegas that well, maybe not typically, but the whole idea is to have 50% of the universe bet on the Eagles last night and have 50% of the universe bet on the Seahawks. So everybody who bet on the Eagles last night won on the 2-point conversion and touchdown, won money, but nobody talks about those people. It's just a bad beat.
Could you imagine the adrenaline rush for you when you just think, okay, I've lost a bunch of money, and then this random Hail Mary bounces off a player, it goes in the hands of the other guy, and then a 2-point conversion. You're like, I can't believe it. I won all this money. That's why I don't gamble, man. I couldn't handle that, man. My heart would be. My heart was racing enough last night. I couldn't imagine having money on that.
Yeah, between fantasy.
Well, you know what? I got to tell you guys, it's funny that you should mention that because I had the caller plus 6.5 in the Beat Migs contest this morning. I'm a winner.
Damn,
I'm a winner.
dude.
I'm a winner. I heard it was 7-1.
Good job.
Good
job. So you were the winner, and there was no Hail Mary in that situation.
It was just like the Seahawks game fixed.
Yeah. So don't forget, Mitch has got, of course, MitchUnfiltered.com, and you can catch the latest episode if you go to Apple, the iTunes or the Android store, where the Google Plays, whatever you call it, and of course, MitchUnfiltered.com.
That's right. Episode number 119, and a good one for Seahawks fans. We were up till the wee hours of the morning to get that one done, and so it's out now. And the Seahawks are 8-3, and they're now in the midst of that 4-game stretch, guys.
Yeah,
they play 4 tomato cans, and we'll see. I mean, you typically would think that they're going to beat all 4 of them, and hopefully they'll just take a business-like approach and get these 4 wins and get to 11-3 with 2 games to go against the Rams and the 49ers and have everything in the world to play for. So 1 down, 1 tomato can down, 3 to go. But that was it was a pretty convincing win, I think, last night.
I'm glad you said that because I think there were some people that I saw in the Twitterverse that were really complaining that the Hawks should have won by a lot more and should have crushed them, and then some questionable decisions. And people were just like losing their mind, like, what is wrong with this team? Russell was good, but he didn't look like the world beater we expected him to be with Carson back. But your thoughts on all this?
Well, I think that I hear those people, but I think you've got to consider a couple of things. First of all, you're playing against a team that is outmanned. You've got them outmanned. They're pretty good on defense. They're pretty good at muddying up the game. Mm-hmm. They're solid on defense. They were going to give the Seahawks offensive line a tough time last night, and they did. And I just think when the mentality when you play a game like that is let's not do anything stupid. Let's not take unnecessary chance. Now, you might say the 4th down calls are a little bit of an unnecessary chance, but I think they went into that game. They would never admit this, of course. They went into that game, the coaching staff, thinking, okay, let's just go about our business. Let's hand the ball off. Let's not do anything dynamic. Let's not do anything tricky, because over the course of the game, we will beat that team if we just handle our business and we don't turn the ball over. And I think that that's what they did. And so it's not going to be a pretty game. It's not going to be one of these high-flying 30, 35, 40-point games. Let's go in there, beat them, and come out of there with as few injuries as possible, which was the case, I think, last night. I think they only had one injury, and we don't know how serious that is to Carlos Dunlap. But, a win is a win is a win, and it's on to the Giants now. And I think these next three are all the same, BJ, in the sense that it's going to be tempting to analyze the Seahawks on these Monday mornings and Tuesday mornings after these three games. Hey, oh my God, look at the defense. They got 6 sacks. Or, oh, Russell Wilson wasn't so great. The offense wasn't so great. What are they doing? They're not. I think you got to just kind of stiff arm that and just take these three games and last night for what they're worth. They're 4 games against inferior opponents that you just need to go out and win. And try not to come out of there too banged up. And that's what they did last night.
Yeah, and that's a very good way of looking at it because they keep telling us how we've got the best schedule for the rest of the year, the easiest schedule, which I guess.
Yes.
Fine. I don't know when the last time I heard that being said about a Seahawks team. I always feel like our schedule has been tough, and we'll decide what kind of team we have if they can beat some of these teams, which they've done over the years. This one here it does feel like okay, we're in the playoffs, and maybe with a few breaks, who knows? Maybe we get that number 1 seed. Though Saints do look they look good, at least for that.
That's right. I would just caution that line of thinking. There's just one little asterisk to that line of thinking. Normally, at this stage of the year, when you're playing teams like the Eagles, the Giants, the Washington team, and the Jets, typically when you're playing 3-8 and 4-7 football teams, you're playing teams that are playing out the string. Mm-hmm. That are out of it. 4-7 teams are never in a race. They're out of it. They're playing out the season. They're playing for a high draft choice. The more they lose, the better. They're typically just not interested anymore. So you get that advantage. What I would caution you is remember the team you played last night, the team that you're playing this week with Colt McCoy, probably the quarterback. That's like 4-7. These teams are in a race.
Yeah, that is true.
They've got everything to play for. This NFC East is crazy. Remember, one of these three teams, the team last night, the team this week, the Giants, or the team in 2 weeks, the Washington team, one of these three teams is going to win that division and host a playoff game.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're playing teams that are just waiting for the end of the season to come.
And we may be playing a much better 49ers team at the end of the year. It looks like they are getting better, and that
healthier. It helps.
That could be a tough game. I mean, we've seen that they've already they've done the job against the Rams. So it's like at this point, and of course we've got the Rams. So the last 2 games also could be a beating.
Well, the 49ers did you a favor this past weekend, did they not?
Yeah, they did.
They beat the Rams, and you're right. They're getting a little bit better. They're getting healthier. They added, in my estimation, 3 key elements last weekend, which makes them a far better team, one of which you guys know. Richard Sherman came back.
Yep.
And so you add Richard Sherman on the defense. You add on the offense, because when the Seahawks played them, you and I, everybody, we talked about them. They were so limited offensively when the Seahawks played them. You add the running back Mostert, you add the wide receiver Deebo Samuel, and you add Richard Sherman. Those are 3 key pieces that all came back this past Sunday. Now, still, the Niners are playing a backup quarterback. They're not playing Jimmy G, so that you should be able to handle them. But, look, they are in the Seahawks are in great shape if they just take care of business the next 3 weeks. The Giants, the Jets, and the Washington team. You win those 3, you're 11-3, and you probably don't even have to win both the Rams and 49ers game to win the division. You're probably in a position where you could drop one of those 2, finish 12-4, and win the NFC West, depending upon what the Rams do in the meantime.
Yeah, you're right, because the Rams do have one more game against the Niners, so we're going to, the Niners could do
No. The Rams have played them twice.
Oh, they have played them twice.
They lost twice. They lost twice to the Niners. They have 2 more against the Cardinals.
Okay, that's what it is. Well, so they've done us a great favor already, those Niners.
That's exactly right. The Rams have not played the Cardinals yet. So if you're a Seahawks fan, you'd hope that those 2 teams kind of beat each other up over there. They're going to play this week for the first time, and they're both in a chase mode for the Seahawks. So if they split, think of it this way. If the Cardinals and Rams split, the Rams have 4 losses right now. That would mean that the Rams have 5 losses.
Nice.
Going into the Seahawks game. Again, a Seahawks team that could have 3 if they win these 3 games against the Tomato Cans. So now you're in a position where the Rams have 5, you've got 3, and you can afford to drop one of those last 2 games for the NFC West. Now then we're talking about number 1 seeds and buys and all that stuff.
Mitch, I saw the stat that the Seahawks just put out that DK Metcalf is the fastest player in Seahawks history to have 1,000 receiving yards in his 11th game in this season already. That he was able to pull that off. Plus, he was the fastest player to piss off an entire franchise in the beginning of one football game. Man, it was fun to watch DK just go balls out against, it was like that was the narrative. This is, his hometown, and they passed up on him not once but twice. And it was fun, though, to see him perform as well as he did. But on the flip side, it was like the whole time, like, where the hell is Tyler Lockett, man?
Well, typically one guy has a big game and the other guy is quiet. But I would say this to the stat that you just brought out, which I think is an important one, that he's the fastest to 1,000 yards in Seahawks history. That's an indication of 2 things, Miggsy. 2 things. Number 1, that he's having a great year and he's a great talent. And number 2, that the Seahawks as a whole have a crap history when it comes to receiving yards. Because the truth of the matter is, you know who holds the record for most receiving yards in a season?
I don't.
For the Seahawks?
Corn Robinson.
The answer would be some guy named Steve Largent. Now, Steve Largent was a great receiver. Steve Largent was a great receiver. But it's a trick question from this standpoint. Teams that had great receivers back in the 70s, the game has changed. You should have had a guy between then and now break that record because of all the passing that's happened in the NFL since the 1970s. The fact that Steve Largent still holds that record is sad to say the least. Now, he had 1,200 yards. 1,247 yards, I think. I looked it up last night. 1,247 yards in 85, 1,245. So DK already has, 1,050? And he still has 5 games to go.
Yep.
So he's going to blow away the record for most yards in a season by a Seahawk receiver, and he should. In fact, if you go back to 1985, they may have only been playing 14 games back in 1985. He should break the record. And the other record that he has a chance to break, the other Seahawks record that he has a chance to break, which I think is a little bit more impressive because it's more recent. Doug Baldwin's 14 touchdowns in a season. 14 receiving touchdowns in a season. That happened, I think, in 2015. And DK's got 9. He should have had another one. He let one go right through his arms last night. Yeah. Right? He let one go off his helmet the last game, right off his face mask, and he tried to walk in and look at himself on the big screen in a game earlier, and he got caught from behind. Those are 3. He has 3 touchdowns. He'd have 12 right now. Those are 3 touchdowns that he's given away in a season where he's been an all-pro. So, yeah, he's an incredible talent. He's an incredible – and gamblers would like to say – the Seahawks gamblers that you talked about at the beginning would have liked to have had DK Metcalf out there on defense on that final play, the Hail Mary. Who's catching a ball if DK's back there jumping and knocking it down? Is anybody catching that ball?
But hey, he came out clutch on the onside kick.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did. He didn't let that one go through his hands. Oh,
thank God. Yeah. Hey, one text has a good question. From these NFC East teams that are left to play against the Seahawks, which one are you most concerned about? My pick is Washington, according to the texter.
Yeah. Is that your pick or is that his or her pick?
Oh, no, that's his or hers. Mine's the Jets.
Yes, I agree.
The Jets are very troubling.
I completely agree. I completely agree with that. There's something about that Washington game that scares me. They played very well on Thursday. Yeah. They've got a quarterback who's the best story in the NFL, Alex Smith. If you don't know the story, if your listeners don't know the Alex Smith story, It's something worth, Googling or go look at. There's documentaries been made. He not only severely broke his leg, a couple of 2-3 years ago, but it was infected. They were talking about taking his leg off. Damn. They were talking about him dying. Mm-hmm. He was literally on his deathbed after this injury in the NFL, and he's back. He's somehow back playing in the NFL and starting. I think that Washington team is going to be dangerous in a few weeks. And I fear them more than I fear the Giants this week or the Jets next week. Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. And,
but they should beat them all. They should beat them all.
Yeah, definitely. You're absolutely right. I mean, especially when you are at least trying to win your division, you just can't lose a game like that. You don't want to be a wild card team when everything is in the driver's seat for you to win this division.
I'll give you a couple of more thoughts, if you will, about last night. Two things. Again, I'm doing what I promised that I wouldn't do, overanalyzing the game. But
thank you for keeping your promise.
It's nice to have number 32 back.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
How about the touchdown run by number 32?
Yeah, that was.
How about his
strength?
It was so good to see that aspect of our offense back. You're right, Mitch.
That's exactly right. Yeah. That's exactly right. And sometimes you need to see it to be reminded of how different that offense can be. When you have it, he is such a difference maker, Chris Carson, such a difference maker. Even when you don't use him. In the first 3 or 4 or 5 weeks when he was healthy, he was out there, he's having pretty good games. They weren't using him. They were letting Russell bake.
Yes.
Okay?
I like
bacon. But to have him in there and to make defenses respect him and know that he could be coming downhill at them at any time, I think is just such a great thing. And that touchdown run was beautiful. I mean, that was all about what Chris Carson adds. That's the first thing I would say about last night's game. The second thing, again, don't overanalyze, but it's still an interesting point. In the first 6 games of the season, they've played 11, right? Miggs, can you do this math?
All right, hold on. Get the abacus.
Let me get my calculator out.
They've played 11 games. In the first 6 games, the Seahawks as a team had 9 sacks.
Yes, I remember that.
They had 9 sacks, worst in the NFL through the first 6 games. I believe they were 5-0, 5-0, 5-1. They were probably 5-1 through those 6 games. In the last 5 games, they've had 22 sacks.
That's a lot of sacks.
That's a lot of miles.
Yeah.
9 sacks in the first 6 games, 22 sacks in the last 5. So they have done what we have asked them to do, ramp up the pressure, get some pressure on opposing teams' quarterbacks. They're hitting the quarterback, they're sacking the quarterback, and now they've become at least respectable. Remember, we were talking about it. They don't have to be great. They just need to be respectable in the pass, in the pass rush, and they have done more than just that over the last 5 games. So that's a very good sign for things to come for the Seahawks.
It is. You're absolutely right. And if they can keep this equation going and stay healthy, it should be a good equation because Russell will bake, Russell will cook, and that should give our defense a little bit of more breathing room on their side, so they don't have to be 100% perfect. They can just be respectable, like you said. And as long as they're not horrible, that means Russ doesn't have to cook everything. Russ can take a little breather to put on the apron, maybe wash a dish. He doesn't have to do it all. That's what we're looking for from the defense, so that Russ doesn't think he has to do it all.
This may actually, Miggsy, be worse than the preseason being extended 5 games into the season. This routine.
Oh, really?
I didn't think I'd ever hear anything worse from him than what I just heard over the last 25 seconds.
And quick side note, to let you know, my wife finds it very entertaining when you refer to me as Miggsy, just to let you know. She likes it.
Okay. Yeah. Good. I'm glad I have her permission.
Yes, you got the wife seal of approval on the Miggsy.
There we go.
So it's on to the Giants.
On to the Giants, my friend.
On to the Giants, and I'll give your audience and you guys one game just to keep an eye on Sunday.
All right.
Keep an eye on the Saints-Falcons game on Sunday. Because on its face, you would say, oh, geez, the Saints are going to take care of the Falcons. And they probably will, and I'll probably be wrong. I'll have egg all over my face. But Just keep an eye on it for a couple of reasons. Number one, the Saints are playing a backup quarterback. Now, they beat a Denver team last week that literally had no quarterback. They had a safety playing quarterback, right?
Yes.
Okay, you saw that story. So the Saints are without Drew Brees. The Falcons really quietly have started to play pretty good football in the last few weeks.
Wasn't very quiet this last weekend, did they? Who'd they destroy this last week?
The Raiders.
Yeah.
The Raiders.
That was
were in a playoff. That's right.
Yeah, that wasn't very quiet at all. They racked the hell out of it.
That was a close game at 43-6. I don't know what you're talking about.
There you go. So just keep an eye on that game because I think it's in Atlanta. And if the Falcons were to somehow jump up and beat the Saints...
Come on, Falcons!
They would be doing the Seahawks, and I don't want to get into Mr. Playoffs. There's a tie-breaking reason why they would be doing the Seahawks a huge favor.
Well, it's because we beat them,
the Falcons
right?
Because of common opponents. That's right, because they beat them. So let's just put it this way. The Seahawks, if the Falcons beat the Saints this weekend, the Seahawks will literally control their own destiny. If they win out... They are the number one seed in the NFC.
I like that. I mean, I like that. That's a thing. That's something to be watching out for.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
You know what? I think that's actually, finally, you said something that I care about. I appreciate that. It's been, how many weeks have we been doing this, Steve? Do the math. It was 11 weeks, whatever. Yes. Finally, Mitch said something I care about. All right, Mitch, we will talk to you on Monday, buddy.
And here I thought that you were going to like my taking the caller plus 6.5 over Miggs.
Oh, I did.
7 to 1.
I thought that was good, but I really care about the whole Saints.
I worked on that all night, that line.
Well, you know what? You're a special boy. We've always liked you for that. But I really do appreciate because I didn't realize that Falcons Saints game was happening. So actually, that's a good tip. I am going to pay attention to that.
Pay attention.
Yeah, you know what?
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Don't forget MitchUnfiltered.com. Go check it out where you get podcasts. The newest episode is today, and we will talk to you on Monday, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, there we go. We got a well-known celebrity that just shared the first time that she met the host of a popular talk show. The first time this happened, she was caught looking at random wiener pictures that were sent to her. And no, it's not Vicky.
Although that is every morning.
Yeah, that's true. You'll hear all about this at 7:47 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. How much does bankruptcy cost?
Usually with my office, we do a flat fee that includes all your court costs, filing fees, credit counseling, credit reports, in one cost. In Chapter 13 cases, that usually starts at about $900. With Chapter 7 cases, the total cost, including all your court costs, attorney fees, is usually about $1,500. We offer payment plans on Chapter 7, so you can start a file with my office for as little as $200. You can send your creditor calls to us. We'll take your creditor calls while you gather up your information and make payments on the rest of the fees. With Chapter 13 cases, we can make payment arrangements in most cases as well and get your case filed even sooner in a Chapter 13 case because of the reorganization aspect to it.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.
Want to elevate your portfolio beyond stocks and bonds but not sure where to look? Equity Multiple brings you an unparalleled wealth generation ecosystem built on diversified real estate investments. With Equity Multiple, you can access commercial real estate, the preferred asset class of institutional investors. And you can get started with just $5,000 in a matter of minutes. Visit equitymultiple.com/boost and earn an enhanced return on your first investment. Equity Multiple. Welcome to modern real estate investing.
The Russian invasion.
The heroic Ukrainian resistance.
It's the biggest land war in Europe since World War II.
And the War in Ukraine Daily brings it all to you.
From Moscow to Washington.
From Kyiv to Mariupol.
The War in Ukraine Daily talks to newsmakers around the world.
And to the everyday Ukrainians whose very existence is threatened.
Hear the heartbreaking stories of those caught in the war.
But also hear about the acts of bravery as history is being made.
I'm Mike Simpson.
And I'm Charles Feldman, inviting you to join us.
The War in Ukraine Daily on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.